In this episode, I was joined by CoachFunk, one of the leading Upland Metaverse community leaders, pioneering the development and growth of several Web3 opportunities. He has been playing Upland since November 2021 and has forged his own direction and path in the Upland Metaverse with purpose and conviction. As a co-founder of the Evergreen Lahser 7-8 Neighborhood Development Collaborative in Detroit, the creator and developer behind the HGF Collective project, and just an all-around top bloke, CoachFunk has rightly positioned himself as a Metaverse strategist to keep an eye on. We discuss some contemporary Upland events, including the state of the secondary markets, the Totem potions mechanics, and the aviation bundle sales, and of course some of his history within Upland. We also got some great information, insights, and opinions on what he's currently working on, and a glimpse into what it takes to set up, manage, and sustain a healthy Web3 community. I had an awesome time discussing all of that and more. And if, like CoachFunk, you're able to step out carefully but purposefully into the limitless world of Web3, then you might just find yourself staying evergreen in the Metaverse and beyond.
Warning, the information and opinions within are solely the views of the individuals involved, contains content not suitable for anyone.
All right, and welcome back to another episode of the Metaverse and Beyond podcast series. Today we're featuring the one and only Mr. CoachFunk. How are we doing this afternoon, mate?
Man, we doing great. Awesome. Thank you for having Evergreen Lahser on your podcast, my friend.
Absolutely. Now, the most important question is straight off the bat is you said you were cooking before. What are you cooking up for the family this evening?
You got to go into when you walk. You got to go into your bag. So I just made some my version of inside out pasta. So basically everything that would be in lasagna and ravioli mixed together, baked with some cheese on top and garlic bread.
Very good. Yes. How's your kids with eating stuff? Are they open to trying new things? I've had all sorts of drama with our kids.
Man, my youngest is 5, so I gotta trick her into trying stuff. I'm like, do daddy a favor. So when she loves, you can see when she looks at me, she has tried at least, and she at least tried. So she surprises herself sometimes. It's hard though.
Very good. Yes, all right. We got a few things to dive into here. We don't have much of a plan. We're just going to run with it. I said from the get-go, I'd be interested in your take on the kind of current state of the markets. I kind of go into that on my other podcast every week, and it has been slightly concerning to me to see the kind of creep towards lower and lower USD sales, but then again, I was part of that process as well. I did help push that down when I went on my rampage to sell, so I can't kind of whine about it too much. But what's your take on this? So if you're not aware, this is the floor markup percentage here, and I kind of coded this so it automatically shows red is 30% or under, and then I think orange is between 30 and 75. The lighter red is 75 to 100, and then green's 100. More and more dropping lower and lower.
Hey, it's becoming concerning, but then you just never know why people are selling under markup. Like you said yourself, you wanted to take and take a profit. So I think as it finds its price, it would start stabilizing, but who knows when. Yeah, I really don't know, man. So yeah, it is concerning though. What you think?
Yeah. Like I said, it is concerning to see it go that low. I mean, people at the time that I started my push in, well, probably January this year, I started to get serious about reducing my property count. And at the time, most of the USD floors that I was selling in was at the 35% range. Sometimes I'd push it. If I was having some fun and battling a floor with somebody, I'd push it down to 32 or something like that. I did get people saying you're crazy, blah, blah, blah. But then when you look at what's happened since, some of these Las Vegas where I sold there, now it's 25%. If you take it from a crypto perspective, I kind of got out at a good time. So,
yeah,
I don't know. But on the flip side, it's very good news if you're able to take advantage of that and buy for the USD and sell for the UPX, because there's some pretty good spreads around.
I would even say that it's actually some great deals for newer players as well that
Yeah.
wasn't
Yep.
able to get in there. And if they get into the right circles, that, hey, if you want to get over there, this is a strategy to look at. So I think it's a win-win. Eventually, it will get to that price where it can't go below, and it's like, you got to get it. But who knows when that's going to be?
Yes, absolutely. And it's also been interesting to track. Like you can see in some of the stats, if the UPX's price is pumping and then the
Mhm.
USD is dropping, you can kind of gauge that that's some action there where people are buying for the UPX and selling for the USD. Miami, a classic example, 17.3% up on the week. So somebody's bought up the floor there and then they're
Mhm.
selling for the USD, which drops it. So it's been fascinating to kind of watch that all play out as well.
Yeah, it's a smart move. It's definitely a smart move. I can't fault him for that. Um, but I think some of that you can either get money now or you could build up a nice passive chunk later on. So it's all about, I
Yes.
guess, the game plan. You know.
Yeah. All right. Well, actually, I might I'll go back to share screen because it's relevant here. We'll skip ahead to I'll just pull that back up again because then I can navigate from there. So I've got your progress chart here from your Upland account. Now,
Wow.
this whenever I see a chart like this, it just looks like a very steady hodler account. You're talking about very linear growth, just up, 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 up. So
Hmm.
when I had a look before, it's interesting to see that your mint net worth and your properties net worth graphs tracks very close together. Almost over half of your account, and then it starts to branch away. Is that like if the listeners aren't aware, you are the manager and are you the founder or a co-founder of the Evergreen Lahser community?
Co-founder of Evergreen
Co-founder.
Lahser too. Yeah.
Yeah, so this kind of separation here, that indicates secondary market purchases. What have you been buying up, mate?
Evergreen Lahser, man.
Yeah,
Honestly,
yeah,
I've been buying Evergreen Lash. I understand that over there in Detroit, if you don't know, people that's looking, Detroit was the actual first FSA city.
yep,
And, at that time, coming in Upland, we all have healthy plans and, ideas, but you really got to, see what's going on and learn how to play Evergreen. And I just figure like we should just, come together and make Evergreen like the Los Angeles, the uh, Washington D.C., the Miami and the Queens or New York of Detroit. So we just been focusing
yep.
on building up our community instead of jumping from
Abs-
community to community. So
Absolutely.
I invested.
Yeah, that
I
would.
invested all.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's considering how close your charts, your lines still are. That means you've been very careful and very selective in what you've done there, which is a smart move. I mean, if you look at my chart's horrendous because of, you know, the massive amount I overpaid for stuff in Midtown Terrace and other node properties. The reason I pull this up is because there is such a, if we go back and look at this data, like there's only really one city that's positive for USD, and that's Rutherford. All of the other ones are below the equivalency, 1,000 up X equals $1. Have
Hmm.
you put any thought into, you know, because there's such good USD dollar deals there? Are you interested in getting your graphs to flip, like to have your mint net worth higher than your properties by buying up those cheap under mints?
I really haven't thought about it, to be honest with you. I'm so focused on what I'm trying to accomplish in the game before I deviate from the plan. Yeah,
Yep,
so I haven't really. I'm so focused in the plan and what Evergreen is trying to do. To be honest with you, I feel like
yep,
what we're doing will create the value over time. That's just
yes.
my belief.
Uh,
That's just me. You know.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Um, yeah, your actual property count is very, very linear, always up. So you're still very much, it seems like you're in the building your account stage.
Yes. There's no, I'm not in a rush to, you know, acquire all these properties and things of that nature. As new cities and stuff like that, opening up, I
Yep.
will have the opportunity to minnow. You know what I mean? But I'm treasure hunting, but I'm not creating a big web based on what Upland does with their treasure hunt mechanisms. Right now, DC is hot, so I got 14 properties over DC treasure hunt. Until that
Nice.
pop up, stop, I'll figure it out. But um, I'm so evergreen. You don't hear me say that all the time because honestly, it's evergreen that keeps me in Upland.
Yeah.
Itself,
Well,
the
that.
community, what we built over 2 years. So I probably
Yep.
will, but right at this point, it's all about just building up what we're doing over there and attracting more OGs like yourself.
So that raises the question, because there's so much happening in Upland all the time. How
Mhm.
have you been able to avoid the whole, I refer to it as the FOMO dragon. It's always biting your ass. There's always something new, exciting to chase. Yeah, you seem like you're on a very clear, determined, defined path. How do you avoid that FOMO?
Well, first and foremost, I haven't avoided it completely. I do still FOMO on
Nobody
some
has,
things.
yeah.
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 But I want to be transparent. I'm transparent, you know what I'm saying? But I believe it's because of the path I journeyed before getting, coming into Upland. I don't know if I'm 47, so before I came into Upland, I was practicing becoming and being a internet marketer, network
Mm.
marketing and things of that nature. So I see the FOMO. We built communities. Excuse me. I'm sorry about that. Edit that one. It's the coffee. But we built communities, and it was hard to keep your team together once this new shiny network marketing company appeared with a better comp plan. And you know what? The same time it took me to build my stuff over here, if I would, and when I did switch ship, I had to start over from ground zero. So,
Mm.
as long I feel like if you come into Upland and then you've been in Upland for about a year or two, you should really start trying to figure out what's your plan. Because other than that, you'll be wasting your money. Because
Mm.
you don't have either you're going to buy structure on it, you don't do something, but figure out what is your purpose in Upland, just like in real life.
Mm.
That's
Yeah,
and that's what kept
it's a
me
good point.
focused. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's a good point. Lots of us, I think the more you kind of stick around, it's, I don't know really, because I started so early, it was definitely a case of try everything.
Hmm.
I've done a bit of this, that, and everything. I've started a lot of things, failed at a lot of things, rebalanced a lot of things. I still feel like I'm still trying to work out what I'm doing in this space. So yeah, it's good to have. You seem to have a good solid core foundation that you're building off of.
Thank you. And you know more than anybody else, you have to fail.
Yep.
You have to see what doesn't work. So, I saw what you did, and I understand it. I seen you had like 5,000 properties, bro. Like, because you was the first, it wasn't like it was now. Like, I seen what you did. I'm like, "Hey, let me just think about why would he have done that? Not just say you drop it the floor like, no, he invested God knows how much money into it. He has a family just like everybody else, and it's an
Mm.
opportunity to, get some money out of the game. We don't know. I seen you on Twitter, doing some house remodeling. Like
Yeah,
you
yeah.
you could have had a hole in your roof as far as I know. You know what I'm saying? But people just gotta get off their high horse and just understand we have to make decisions that's best for us. And once they do that, this I believe the economy in certain neighborhoods, not the whole economy, but certain people, certain networks, people dealing with people will prosper in the future.
Yeah, it's a good point. I'm still, well, you say hole in the roof. Yeah, I literally had a hole in the roof from the big Christmas storms we had here. So, yeah, that was a whole ordeal. But yeah, yeah, I'm still trying to. I've taken a big step backwards from everything that was done at Midtown Terrace. That's all still yet to play out. I'm just letting that kind of just sit there idle for the time being, because partly because I'm still not sure where we're going to go with it. And another reason is, yeah, as you said, I've got a lot of stuff going on in real life situation. But I have been playing around with the idea of, because I've got a crap ton of structure ornaments, and
Hmm.
most of Midtown Terrace is built out, so I am playing around with the idea, at least mentally, of setting out to Midtown Terrace. You have this area is going to be the horror part, this area is the Genesis part, and whatnot. But the thing that keeps blocking me from that is just the laborious process of moving all of those tiny little bastard crates one at a time. That's yeah.
Yeah, that's wow.
So
Hey, I do got an idea that might help you with that, but we could talk offline. That's probably
yep.
introducing NFT for you. But yeah, it's I would hold
Yeah,
on to
cool.
them because these properties could only increase in value. I feel like depending on where they at, it's
Yeah.
they could only increase the NFTs.
Yes. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to paid transportation mechanics kicking in. I'd love to be able to just spend some UpX and say, send this here and it arrives. Yeah, because this one at a time process, it gets old very quickly.
The way they talking, it sounds like that's not going to come until 2026. No
Yes,
time
we'll
this
see
year
how it
for
plays.
sure. Because there's a lot
Yes,
of
well,
stuff they
maybe
still
that's
got
a
to implement. Hmm.
yeah. Well, there's a lot of, I saw this on there's been a few comments on the last video I did for the Upland Down Under podcast, and there's been a lot in general. I mean, there's a lot of maybe concern, I would say, about what Upland's come out and stated that this is our model. We put out a minimum viable product, and then we work on the back end to get those loose ends tied up. I think there's a bit of concern in the community that that's all well and good, but at what point do you have too many projects on the go, and is anything ever getting finished?
Yeah, they need to slow down. I feel, in my personal opinion, and build up, but it's kind of hard to say, man, because I see both sides. Give them
Yep.
enough to get enough, different clusters of people with hobbies and stuff to get involved. Give them the basics and just build from there. Some might stick, some might not. But before they build it out, I guess it's like we are beta. We are the test market to see, okay, I truly believe just something's going to give, something's going to change after SPARKLET hits the market, because it's just too
Mm.
many new investors, big time crypto investors that's going to be attracted to it. So something before SPARKLET hits the market, we want to see something. They're already working on the website. You know what I mean? So yeah, exciting times, man. Exciting times.
Yeah, and I always try and add a bit of a dose of reality too, that Upland at its core, it is a business. It's in a very volatile space. It has survived through, more than one bear market. So there's that. And they got to sell stuff to keep the lights on. How do they best sell stuff? Well, the classic thing, or how do they generate income, is to sell new stuff. But yeah, it would be good if we could get some long ago promised things, even just really
Mhm.
basic stuff like being able to search for properties when you're trying to assign collections, or any sort of property
Yeah.
management tools. And, there's so many simple things like that that would make a world of difference, I think. So,
Do you think that's what they're hoping the community would make for them while they're working on other stuff until they get to it?
yeah, well, that goes way back. In the very early days of the first version of the UDU, there was a guy called Invenom, and he came along and he had this grand vision for a separate kind of website that worked off the API the API, and you could do all of that via the third party thing. There was a lot of shenanigans go on in the background of that. I don't even know the full details of it, but from what I'm led to believe, that he required a certain amount of access to be able to do that, and he wasn't granted that access. This Upland had pretty good reasons for that, but yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully something like that. If Upland themselves can't do it, it'd be great to see. There's people like Buellerman, and there's a whole bunch of really talented, smart coders in the space that could probably do something like that if the right incentives and support was there. So I'm just not sure if Upland's willing to allow that much sort of, how do you say,
Yeah,
access to the system or whatever. It seems
that
all of
exposes
the
it.
layer 2 seem to be very peripheral to the actual layer 1.
Because you got to think about it too. I don't now you the way you presented it. I don't see that happening no time soon because that opens up the system to viruses from said processors and computers. So yeah, it just opens up a lot of unnecessary risks. You start doing that. So yeah, I don't see that happening.
Yeah, it could get messy very quickly. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll move on to a few things. Well, we got a few things to blast through. As far as some new stuff to sell and play with. Now, let me just pull this one up again because it's easier to navigate from where I am. So we did have the Totems potions. Now, we kind of touched on this through the show that I just did. Basically, my kind of 10-foot perspective on the thing was, this is cool. I love this kind of system. Any sort of upgrade system that you can do with in-app purchases, love it. I just think the system they've got in place here, it's just way too complicated. The supply's nowhere near enough. I'd love to see within the UI, I'd love to see like all of the sales for all of this stuff that they want to sell for all of these upgrades have, thousands of them in there. Get rid of this gambling aspect of it, a chance at this, a chance at that. Make it so you know exactly what you're going to buy, in-app purchases. If I'm going to drop $30, $40, $50 on something, I want to know exactly what I'm going to get. I don't really buy into this whole gambling situation. What's your take on all of that?
I played devil's advocate. I like it. I did purchase some bundles. I'm doing it to resell because it
Yep.
was USB. To see if I could build up my net worth a little bit. But if you look at to me, again, I just look at it through different eyes. It's a step in the step in the right direction, but it's too. How can I say it? It's too cumbersome. If you look at
Yeah.
different NFT projects where they buy a pack, and
Yep.
they even do it sometimes in here. You don't know, you just shake it out, and then you do this like simple steps. It's just too cumbersome. They're going in the right direction, but you will have a market that has terrible totals, and they want to risk and get a better totem, and you just got leaderboard junkies. They want to be the best in
Yep.
everything. So I
Yeah.
think they're testing it out. Depending on how well they do, we might see more things, like this moving forward. I do have a question for you, right? Let's say
Yep.
hypothetically, because we still have 4 cycles with the totems. Do you still have a totem, by the way? At least one?
Yeah, I did have one of each, and then I sold it down to one, and then I picked up a second green one. I forget what the hours are on that, but it worked in with my schedule. It might be 12 hours or 24 hours. I forget what it is.
That's
I think I've got 2 green snakes.
that's key too to work in your schedule. But my question is this: let's say, for instance, because we know all these potions and stuff is not going to sell and be burnt, will we be able to use them
Yes.
the next cycle? Because they didn't say we had to use them or burn them now, and they wouldn't be usable moving forward.
Ooh, that's a very good question. Yeah, is this only for this next chapter that's coming up? Yeah, I don't
No,
know.
nothing in there gives me that vibe. Me and my community was talking about that yesterday.
Yeah. No, it's a great question. I'm not sure what the answer is. But yeah, if we're just going back to the system, yeah, you're taking if if you're buying any sort of NFT pack, there is some kind of gambling aspect in there because you've got rarities and this, that, and the other
Hmm.
thing. But Upland has to kind of find a better balance between that and an in-app purchase system. I think they're trying to. I think
Yes.
they're trying to go too far in the one direction, and it's just too complicated. If color matches +2 You get points that goes on the leaderboard. If you're knocked down on the leaderboard, you're minus
Yeah.
20. You got to have this one before you can do that one, but the supply is like extremely low. Yeah, just yeah, as you kind of said, I think it's all of the foundation of some really good stuff is there. It just needs a lot of a better management almost.
And what I feel too, like they document design, man. The way they word stuff is so tricky. Maybe it's by design, but you got to read this stuff like 8 times to really get a full understanding of it, man. Or maybe it's just me, But yeah, you got to really read it and understand it, break it down.
Yeah, yeah, that's the other thing too. All of we get an announcement and then it takes 2 or 3 days to work out what the hell's actually going on. You need
Exactly.
people to pick it apart, and there's all of this debate. It should be, if people are going to spend, 50, 60, $100 or more, you should know, as I said, it should be very clear what you're buying. And
Hmm.
if you have if I've got a green snake and I want to upgrade it, it should be a very clearly defined pathway for me to do so.
I
That's
guess
my
now that
perspective
is,
anyway.
yeah, I guess now that they open the bundles open, you do have a clear path now, I guess. But it's so spread out, and they're forcing the market to move if you want to do it. Like I didn't get no evolution potions. You know what I'm saying? I ain't
Yeah,
getting that
yeah,
one. So they're kind of forcing you to stimulate the market, I feel.
yeah. Which is all well and good, but then the supply is so low as well. So there's people
Hmm.
that are just going to buy them and hold on to them, and yeah, I don't know. It kind of maybe I'll share screen. There's another NFT project that I kind of play around with a fair bit, which is the crypto deads sort of
Ooh.
situation. Now here's an example where this is blending, which is, you could say blending is the same as evolving, right? You have
Hmm.
some certain NFTs and you're going to burn them so you can get a better one. So I play around with this game. This one here, that's the kind of the best one of this series. And, all of these ones you hold, it generates an income and you can buy more packs, yada, yada, yada. You open the packs, blah, blah, blah. So that's the
That's
lowest
awesome.
value one. Now, if I want one of these, I've got to have a certain amount of these and a certain amount of these. I'll just show you like this example here. So
Hmm.
say I want one of these. This is the one I want. Then it shows me clearly the assets I need, and it shows me that I need to get 2 of them. If I click on that, it'll take me to the marketplace and I can buy them directly.
Wow.
If I had both of them there, it'd say so, and all I'd have to do is press blend. Very simple, straightforward kind of
Hmm.
system.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Is it a metaverse attached to that? I'm just trying to see how in depth of it, or it's just the system, set alone system.
It's been around for quite a while actually. That project,
Hmm.
it's basically it's an NFT game, like it's a
Oh.
survival game. I just play around. I like the blending aspect of the NFTs. You can stake the NFTs, earn the currency. You can then trade that currency for wax. So I just kind
Mm.
of play around with that system.
That would be
So, but
dope if Upland has something like that. It will make it a lot simpler, and people wouldn't be burning unnecessary NFTs.
yeah, well that's the other thing too. Like we talked about that is guaranteed somebody's going to burn too many of their totems and they're just going to be butthurt to the extreme. There needs to
What?
be some kind of protections in there.
It should be like a safeguard. Like you already burnt one, you don't need to burn another one.
Yeah,
Like so, or
exactly.
don't
Yep.
doesn't allow you to. It just shuts down your
Yeah.
system or something.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you just make it very within the UI. You just have it simple. You know, do you want to try and upgrade? Well, yeah, move this NFT here, and what are you missing? Well, you need an evolution bloody NFT. Okay, where do I get that? Press a link, it
Hmm.
takes you to the secondary market list, and then you can say, oh, okay, there's one of those available in a showroom at in Detroit, Evergreen Lahser. Okay, well, I need to hurry up and get over there before it gets sold. Oh shit, it got sold. Where's the next one? It's in LA. It needs to be very, very clearly defined.
They should. They could actually, if they make their own layer 2 dev shop, they could make something like that.
Yeah. Well, it's all time and money, though, I suppose, isn't it? Time and money. It's easy to have
I
these
don't
ideas,
know.
but yes.
No, I'm
So
talking about
that
Upland
was
can
one
make
of
their own.
yes, absolutely. Yeah, well, that's kind of been my whole. That's been my whole perspective for a long time too. Like we have it within the UI. If you go to your Spark, it says how much is on the exchange. I think that's still there. Let me just check that out. Maybe while I'm getting that ready, I did see you've got just over 10 Spark. Is that all from treasure hunting?
Not all. You all in my. That's one thing about this blockchain. You can't lie. You got the receipts.
Yeah.
No, not all of it. I want to say, wow. When I first started, I started buying just what I could afford, like point one here. But last April 2023, we set up a little challenge or a Spark challenge where we just do nothing but Spark, some standard Spark challenges all day till we max out our
Mm.
sins. And since I've been doing that, along with a lot of login bonuses and little wins here and there, I acquired almost 7 Spark in about a year.
Yes. Yeah, I'm the same. I bought plenty as well. Plus, I got airdropped
Yeah,
plenty. So, yeah,
yeah,
no dramas
yeah.
there. Yeah, it clearly says here, look, on exchange. So that's been there within the UI ever since it all came
Mm.
available. So
Mm-hmm.
everyone thought, okay, we're going to have our own official exchange that's within the app.
Mm-hmm.
It seems with the layer twos that are out there that they've moved completely away from that, which I think is a shame. I mean, it does create a the opportunity for community-run businesses, but something within the layer one, I'd definitely use that a lot more myself personally.
But didn't they say something about that a few AMAs before back, or maybe I do remember something, man. And I kind of isn't that what I don't want to say no names is, but isn't that one of the reasons one of the um, co-owners or co-creators of the Spark Exchange kind of got upset because they were talking about bringing in one, and I don't know the whole situation, but I remember vaguely of
Yeah,
something they was going to do.
yeah. It doesn't matter what they do; they're going to piss somebody off. So that is what it is. But yeah, I,
Yeah.
I, I think well, when we've got this extra gun tech 2 thing that's just come online. There's a whole bunch of
Hmm.
these layer 2 gamification things, but especially as somebody, 99.5% of what I do is on the mobile app. You know,
What I think it
more than the
might
one
be though,
stuff.
don't quote me for this. I think outside of the box, they might even use that for when they introduce you'll be able to stake on other people's factories.
Yeah, and that's going to be a huge addition. Yeah, to be able to do that.
Because,
Yep.
like you said, it's already in the UI that you can say that's on the exchange. So maybe
Mm.
that's what it's built for, and they just trying to connect it. Just never know.
Could be. Yeah, that's definitely one of those features that the community's been longing for. Especially there's plenty of talented people that want to get involved in the UGC asset creation, but they don't have that minimum 5 Spark to get started. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. All right.
Definitely.
So that whole totem things, that was one of the latest and greatest deals. But there's also, of course, they stole me acronym MVA, the Metaverse Ventures. What do they call them? Metaverse Ventures Aeronautics or something. Let me
Something
just
like
pull it
that,
up.
yeah.
That's the wrong
Aviation, is it air aviation?
aviation. Yeah, something like here it is. Here. Yeah, Metaverse
Yeah.
Ventures Aviation or something. So yeah, this was cool. I think this has been widely speculated that we were going to get private jets and whatnot. There's a few things here that jumped out straight
Hmm.
away to me. One is the price, $300, which is $500 Australian, which is
Wow.
fair enough. If you're gonna spend that much money to be able to buy a private jet or something, that would seem reasonable and kind of comparable to the S1Rs or something like that. The exclusive kind of assets. But this
Hmm.
bundle, again, it's just a chance, and mind you, it's a very low chance to get one of the main targets of what this sale is. Yeah, I couldn't believe. The more I read into this, the more I scratched my head. So you could possibly spend this $300 and end up with you might end up with 3 properties where the mint value's 500,000 UPEX or something like that. But we've seen what the USD equivalency is. So if you're going to try and flip those for USD, well, it's going to be like worth $100. So again, it's just this gambling aspect. I don't know how I feel about that whole thing.
Yeah, you got to make it rare, but yeah, it really depends on if you want to get that terminal. It is. If you hit, you'll be the happiest SOB out there.
Oh yeah.
You know, you know what I mean. So, yeah, but it's just all about your risk. I'm not willing to risk that $300 for those percentages.
No.
But
no, me neither. So yeah, that was one aspect. Obviously, as you said, if you do land it, it's happy days. If you don't, you might be thinking, well, this wasn't a great idea.
Yeah, no. So I definitely advise people do not risk money you cannot afford.
Absolutely.
It's a game.
Yes. So that was one aspect of it. And then, of course, there's information about the planes themselves. Now, I thought this was interesting. It appears that you're not going to be purchasing the plane directly at any stage. You're only going to be purchasing a pilot fee, the price of which isn't listed here. There's no details of which. So basically, what do you got to do here? You got to take a gamble. You got to take a $300 gamble to see if you get the chance at your own private airport terminal. Now, I don't believe there's been any indication that private airport terminals will be able to park other people's planes for a fee. So you got to have a gamble and luck out and get one of these 50 available ones. I'm assuming more will come in future. So there's a gamble there. And then there's an unknown quantity here where, okay, you've got your terminal. You got to then pay some unknown details to get the pilot fee. And then you have the chance to have your own plane. So they're making it extremely exclusive, extremely chance-based, and kind of heavy on the FOMO, heavy on the USD sales aspect. So when you think back to if we go back to the S1Rs, right, the very first iteration of cars, and that was the gamble was there that you register for the sale and you see where you are in the sales list. So I never had any luck with that. I had to purchase my S1R on the secondary market. But, the chance was very clearly defined and the pathway to it was very clearly defined. There was one step between the registration for the sale and secondary market sales negotiations. Here, there's how many steps is going to be involved here before you're going to actually get yourself in a plane?
Yeah, it's like you said, a lot of risk, a lot of what ifs. If you hit, it's like hitting a lottery. But again, my advice is do not buy that package or bundle unless you have $300. You're not going to be mad if you don't get what you're looking for.
Yeah,
because it's a lot of risk.
Save yourself. Yes, and what did you think about these new status updates too? So it seems like unless you're an executive, you're not going to be able to buy a pilot fee in any event. So
that's creative. That's actually that's increasing the value of hitting executive status, especially with the rarity of the mints of the planes. Like yes. I could get to that point once I hit executive at least. So at first when I read it, I thought they was giving us a plane. I'm like, what? We get what? I had to read it again.
Yes. Yeah, but the thing is, right, like if you're not fully engaged, if you're not on the Twitter and all of that sort of stuff and you don't see that, well, you're going to come over here to the Upland store. You're going to see Prime Bundle, okay? And you click on this. What is it? Purchasing this item will grant players 3 properties. 50 private airport, blah, 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 blah. The properties will be delivered to the person. Okay, so there's very thin on details there. if you kind of loosely read it and you thought, okay, well, I'm a director and I want to get a plane, and you click on it, you purchase it. I don't believe there's anything to say, hang on a minute, you're not an executive yet. So are there going to be people who buy this? They have all the stuff there, but then they can't even get a plane anyway because they're not at the right status level.
Well, I don't think that I could be wrong. The way it's set up, both are different. I think that's for after that particular bundle sale. Whoever get it at that time, they have access. But moving forward, after that bundle sale, the only access to the pilot services or whatever the case may be would be you have to hit those statuses. So I don't think it's going to hold that against them based on how they set it up. It's like, and we're going to have this as well.
Yes, yeah, it could be.
That's interesting.
Yeah, what did you? Yeah, what did you think about the new status levels? So we've got at the moment, chief executive is 100 million net worth, and then we've got chair and vice chair. Some pretty hefty figures there.
Yeah, it is. I could tell you I ain't gonna hit them no time soon, but it's definitely good for individuals like yourself and that's looking. You can hit different ranks, give y'all something else to achieve for to kind of get you into the game, moving around, buying some stuff. It's definitely it can't. I don't think it hurts the game. What do you think? I think it's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, you're somebody who's kind of approaching that executive status. Is that a carrot on the horizon?
Yeah, definitely. I've been looking at. I'm eyeing that. You put my spark count out there. I'm eyeing that 1.2 spark doing spark week. That would help me produce some assets. But I'm not gonna rush it. I know it's gonna come. I mean, if I have some extra dollars here, I sell some assets or things of that nature. It's gonna get here. It's just for me, it's more of a bragging rights right now because I have everything.
Yeah.
I need to produce in game. You know what I mean? So it'll get there.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll just bring it up. Way back in the day, I offered up my suggestions for different status levels. So this is going back to 18th of June 2021. I suggested, we've got 10,000 UpX Uplander, 100,000 UpX Pro, 1 million Director, 10 million Executive, 100 million Tycoon, 1 billion Magnate, 10 billion Mogul, and then 100 billion, well, you can read that one yourself. Gilded, you know what? That's just me being a cheeky little bastard. So, yeah. I do know that you've been playing around with the ideas, like for putting extra ones in at some stage. But yeah, that seems like a whopping jump, to go from a chief executive to 1 billion and become a chair. Yeah.
Do we already have one of those? What by these new rankings? What is Abdullah? What would he be considered now?
I believe somebody said that he's got 300 million UpX liquid at the moment. That's just what's in his account to spend. So,
oh my God,
yes.
The enigma, the man, the myth, the legend.
Yeah. So I would assume based on that he would have to be well and truly past the vice chair point. And yeah, I believe there's 2 or 3 people that would be at that chair net worth as well, over 1 billion. So yeah, that's a lot of cheddar.
Yeah, that's a lot of cheddar. A lot.
Yes.
Congratulations to each one of them, though. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I probably would never make that purposely.
No. Yes. All right. Well, that's about what's been on my radar as far as Upland goes. Is there anything else that's been capturing your attention in the wider space before we dive into a bit more of what you've specifically got going
on? I guess it's a lead into it. I want to know your view because your view on these neighborhood ratings because we're kind of making a little bit of noise. We're inching up, a little bit here and there. But I don't know. Would you say that's something we should just let happen over time or possibly make a run at
it? It's tricky. Like that was always the big carrot back in the day. That's why a lot of the stuff that we did, that's how the whole node concept, all became up and running, was specifically because of that. I
Oh,
don't
my
know. It
fault.
just
I
seems
pay
like
homage to the Node Father, the Node Father.
yeah, yes, yes. It's just one of those things that it appears to have been started, but then it's just been abandoned. It just seems very strange to me that they kind of just moved right away from it almost. Because
No.
there's that first step where you're battling with the entire ecosystem to first of all get the collection, and then there was
Mm-hmm.
supposedly going to be this second step where then you
Mm-hmm.
do the second step, and that gets you node versus node battle. I haven't heard anything more about that.
Nah, nothing. At least they are still announcing the people that win the initial one. Maybe they're waiting for more people to get in that second tier. I don't know.
Yeah, it's been over a year, and there's
Yeah,
dozens of folks in there now. Yeah, I don't if they're
true.
waiting, I don't know what the hell they're waiting for.
And they need to speak on that, don't they? Upland, what the hell is happening, man?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's interesting. So, well, just as you were talking now, I was just trying to find it to pull it up because you did say before that the website's down. They're working on that. So yeah, it takes a bit of searching around now to find the actual leaderboard. But we're looking at here. Well, that's the other thing that kind of makes me think it's very low priority. Is we've had most of the times when the month ticks over, they don't update this. They used to do like a post or congratulations on such and such a
Mm-hmm.
neighborhood, and now it just
Mm-hmm.
seems like an afterthought, and then there's no fanfare, there's no anything. These poor communities have put all this effort in. It's just they don't know if they've got it. It's nothing gets announced. They just sit there as number one on the leaderboard 2-3 weeks
Mm-hmm.
into the next month. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
there's just not much love being shown, which is I
Has
think's
this month?
really sad.
Have they even announced the last previous months in April?
No, nothing. I don't think
So
it
that's
just suddenly
technically
shows up.
okay. Wow.
Yeah. So
That
we got
there's going with
Greenwich
my answer.
Village. Yeah.
Don't
So we got
focus on it too
Greenwich
much.
Village. No, well,
Hmm.
that's the thing. I think. I think it's a case where these are just gonna, because it's very hard once you get to a certain level of development, unless you've got the flexibility there to suddenly do a big, spark staking push. You're kind of just stuck where you are, and then it's just going to play
Hmm.
out. So we'll probably see, this will be this month, next month, and it's just going to bang through the list. Unless
Yeah.
somebody like where's Evergreen Lahser now? It's 20th spot. Unless you made some kind of significant focused push. But there's so much of the mechanics of that's just
Hmm.
pure guesswork. There's a few people that
Yeah.
have worked out a few different things that you can do to help yourself, but again, you're kind of
Yeah.
you're playing in a game where you don't really know the rules, which
Yeah. Very true.
I think it's kind of silly. But yeah,
Yeah.
so
I
anyway,
agree. I
that's
concur.
my take on. Yeah. That's my general take on the whole thing. Anyway, of course, we're happy to see Midtown Terrace finally get the neighbourhood collection status, but I mean, most of
Congrats.
the fanfare had all fizzled out of it by then because it's been totally, ignored almost by Upland officially.
Yeah, but at least it does give it that extra boost now by being a collection. So it does
Yes.
bring it up in value a little bit. So your hard work, even though it's fizzled a little bit, as you would say, it's still
Yep.
gained in value at least. And that's all you ask for.
Yes. All right. Well, maybe that's a good segue over to everything that you've got going on in Evergreen Lahser because you do. I'm so sick of this goddamn pop-up. I know Elskalak, a lot of Uplanders complain about this as well. Every bloody time you do something. Yes, I know I'm
Yeah.
travelling. God, shut up.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yes, Evergreen Lahser, a lot of cool stuff going on here. Some significant development. Still plenty of room for extra development, so that's good. If that secondary node versus node battle does come on board, you've got plenty of room to move. Give us a bit of an overview. Do you have specific areas within here that's, for certain business areas, or what's the general plan? Run me through it, mate.
So within Evergreen Lahser, we have technically 7 business districts, or districts, just to give it a more diverse type feel. So you have the sports district, the educational district, the art district. You have the hip hop district. You have the garden district, the decentralized district. Did I say the sports or business? I said
Yep.
something else. I
Yep.
mean, there's one more I'm missing. Decentralized art, hip hop, education. Did I say education? Sports.
Yeah, I believe so. Yep.
Yeah, I'm missing one, but it'll come to me. But just to give it, because it's so huge per se, it's like just under 3,000, and
Mm.
just to be a little bit 3,000 properties. So just to be a little bit different, try to break it up into 7 districts. Lucky number 7, and give it its
Yep.
own identity within the overall community. So, and it's pretty much just a melting pot, bro. I'm Coach Funk. Y'all probably just hear of Evergreen just being a flower community. We're way more than that. That's just a shock factor. Oh, that's just. But if you really get to know us, we're very creative. We're very innovative. We're just trying to carve out a space in the metaverse that's our own, and to test the limits to really create something that's our own.
Yep.
Without
That's cool.
limitations, without telling people you can't do this, you can't do that. No, express yourself in the midst of everything. So.
Yeah, no, that's very cool. And you kind of come straight out the box, and you had the vision for this and got straight involved in it. I mean, I could probably guess, but what was specifically about this particular area? Why this spot?
I mean, for one, based on when you brought up my chart, bro. You know, Financially being able to invest in Upland. Like I always state, please, I learned this in any business or investments. Please do not invest more than you can afford to lose. So,
Yep.
it was a progress, and when Detroit, for the most part, opened up, it was the first FSA city, so it was cheaper, and we was able to select Evergreen around my NFT project. It just made sense. Evergreen Lahser, flower community, and whatever you wanted to be, just the metaverse appeal, just being different. So we decided to, stake our flag in Evergreen, and go from there 2.5 years ago when Detroit opened.
Yes, you've
It
been
just
around
made
for
sense.
quite a while. Yeah, and
Building
there's
value.
yeah, there's still plenty of opportunities to get involved. What have we got here? We've got a 60 up squared property, $8.30, $8.40, $9.20. So yeah, you can get yourself a nice little pre-collection set there for under $30.
I
Or
would
on the flip
definitely,
side, what's the
I
UPX
would,
doing?
if the UPX is the first like 12,000 updates, the person in jail here in Alcatraz.
Ah,
So I would
that's
say it starts
frustrating.
around, yeah, it is about
Yeah,
15,000 updates.
yeah, so still very reasonable. Yep,
I would definitely,
cool.
encourage any layer 2 developers anywhere that definitely, if you're looking to come to Detroit and you're looking for a community that's going to get you some eye traffic, we playing our best to get, the eyes in Detroit on Evergreen. Like we currently have my track about to be done in about 2 hours, and we have our
Oh, really?
third.
Wow.
Yeah, if you go down at the bottom of Kitmore, you'll see is Kitmore, and you get it's right before on the right hand side. Yeah,
Let me
we
just get
already
over
have
there.
two. Shout out to Lightning Lake. He was our first track. Our second track is Jen Skrilla. He's the Just Blaze
Down there,
way.
yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
and we don't have our own 420 circuit within Evergreen. So we got map assets. We looking to really empower the entrepreneur. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's Just Blaze. If you
Yeah,
go to
that's
the
good.
right a little bit, you'll see mine. about to pop off. That's called the Garden Tour. I'm gonna tie in
Garden
everything.
Tour.
I
That's a
gotta
good
tell you,
name.
yeah, I'm gonna tie into the my
Oh,
map assets as well. Yeah,
is
but
that it
it's
here? Is it?
Garden.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Oh, look at
You see
that.
your
Yeah.
girl on
See?
there? You see your girl in game?
Yes.
What? Zoe.
Yes. Yes, Zoe Wedge Cloud. Shout out to Zoe.
Yes. Shout out to
Um,
Zoe.
well, maybe you could speak to that too. Like you did say you were a co-founder, and I believe Zoe was very early on in the process of getting involved.
Yes. Yes.
How did that all come about? How did you find these people and get started with the whole community aspect and that sort of stuff?
And I mean, I'm the typical Uplander. We found it on Brave or some advertising, clicked it and transported in through a portal into Upland, and just trying to figure out where the community is. Looking to ask questions, and it was just what I do. So I ended up buying the first properties in Cleveland because I'm from Ohio.
Mm,
So let me go buy, and I bought like 150, 250% over. Man, I'm like, oh man, we really started learning that. But shout out to TJ, my Miami boy. I can honestly say he was my mentor in the beginning. I met him at Facebook, and he invited me over to Discord. Taught me, put me under his wing. I'm not too, even though I got all these grades, he put me under his wing because he was in the community. And for right there, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have even be right here or understand the game. So he introduced me to Zoe, and we all just clicked up. And at that point, I'm like, I'm in Delaware, he's in Miami, Zoe's in Australia. I was like, wow, this is powerful, but we are so
mm,
early. So
mm,
just stand around him, and we all came up was like, let's create our own. We saw y'all's, we saw everyone else's, but it's like if I want to get in there right now, I don't have the money to pay $200, or
yep,
it's like, so why not just create our own and create our own identity? And I do want to say
absolutely.
one thing: the C heads, it's not the overall identity of Evergreen Lahser. It's my project. So it's just the first project to be brought out of Evergreen. So if anyone else has like Jen Skrilla, shout out to Jen Skrilla. He has his Versatile Styles NFT project coming out soon. I would say 2025, but you're going to see different projects, NFT projects, outside of just the C heads. So I don't want to
Yep,
just want people to think C heads, that's all, that's just one project. And we invite everyone else to come and release their projects if they like in Evergreen. You know, it's just, we here to collaborate and network.
absolutely. Now I'm sharing screen now. Some of these seed heads, I believe these are the map assets versions. Is that right?
Correct. I can speak
That's
on
awesome.
a lot of, if you'd like me to, because it's a lot of misconceptions about it, right? They think this is the actual NFT. They are NFT.
Yep.
So, how much time do I got, bro?
As much as you want, mate. It's all good.
So I'm just giving you a background about where the concept of seed heads came from. As you see, you says homegrown funk. I used to do pop ups and different homegrown funk, my logo. So this before I even came and did Upland. But
Yep.
I learned about NFTs, and I was looking for metaverses where I could create basically a training package. And came across Upland, and I came across TJ, Zoid, and gave me an aha moment. So I was like, to give back to the community, I'm going to create my project. And when someone mints my NFTs, because it was so much, you see my profile, I didn't have a lot of money. So my See Here project is technically my crowdfunding project. Everything I make
Nice.
from that, I put back in the
Mm,
Upland as well. However,
mm,
being so new to the NFT market and understanding you need some utility, I had to become creative. So what I did was I'm going to continue to add more utility to my Sea Heads. The Garden Gnome is just one. And on top of
mm,
that, a way to give back to the community is because you believe in my vision and me being transparent, let you know I'm only 5% of where I'm at, where this is going to be like up. I'm not here to sell you no FOMO, no pipe dreams. And honestly, Zoe was one of the first ones that purchased a seed head from from Australia. You understand what I'm saying? It's more of a community because I felt like she saw my vision, she believed, she invested. So what I did was there's only 42 seed head NFTs that's going to be created and brought into the game as a garden gnome. 34 per seed head, in which I'm going to give you one of those garden gnomes, whatever mint you like, back to you for free. In theory, that's my way of saying they're going to be rare, and you made your money back from purchasing my NFT project. So I'm gonna give you equal value, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so it's
on
like
top
a
of
kickback utility.
And then on top of that, when we sell 30 of them, because I gave you one, I'm gonna keep 3 because I'm a creator. I like them. I'm gonna post them around for advertising. But when I sell that 30 of your seed head, you're gonna make 5% profit share back from those seed heads. So just say thank you, and then we're gonna build in other utilities and things of that nature as we go. But I just wanted to say thank you to the ones that do become a seed head and become part of my NFT project. But I want to make sure I give back as well, so they can say, you know what, it was an investment over time. You know what, I got my money back. I bought for the NFT plus more. You can't be mad from that. You can't get mad.
Yes. No, that all sounds good. I think that's a good distinction to make. And maybe we'll zap on over to the Evergreen website because that probably helps to, explain that a little bit more. So, yes, Evergreen Lahser, that community is far more than just the seed head project, as you said. And that's very clear here when you scroll down. There's some team information here. There's some of the founding seed heads there, but then I believe there's down here like some of the other meta ventures you're associated with, and then where did I see community projects? So you've got Spark Trains, Game Trains, and then this one here, that's your seed heads collection. So if you click on that, it takes you over. You do have another Versatile Styles project, and I believe this one down here is Zoe's project.
Yes.
So and obviously, there's room here to flesh this out more and more and more.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so no, that seems really cool. Maybe just where did the inspiration for the seed heads look? Where did all that come from? And did you make those yourself? Did you outsource that? How did that all play out?
Well, shout out to Crazy Strains, in-game names. Crazy Strains, he's the artist that came up with the base seed head. So no, I do not have any artistic, non-AI artistic bone in my body. So Crazy Strain, I was able to give him, what I was looking for as far as basketball. I played college basketball, D1 and overseas in Finland for a year. So that's part of me in there. And just being a seed. See, homegrown funk is more than just weed. It's more so like we all have talents that's homegrown based on our journeys in life. You know what I mean? We all created, I'm pretty sure, you're doing your roofs, you're doing different remodeling projects in your home. You acquired those skills, and we all have skills. So it's more of a analogy of, whatever it is, you got to plant it, and it got to blossom to whatever seed. I didn't say it's weed head. It just, it could be watermelon seeds. It's just what you see, but I just wanted the analogy where, we are able to plant our legacy in the metaverse in Upland and watch it blossom.
Yep. Yeah, well, I mean, shout out to all of the artists out there who can take sometimes, speaking for myself personally, some very shitty ideas and some very horrendous scribbles and turn those into, some amazing artwork. And you sometimes, I've worked with D-Tech and back in my old gaming projects some days, like, it's amazing how how sometimes they just really get it, and you look at it and you're like,
Yeah.
whoa, that's even better than I could have possibly imagined. So,
Can I just send a shout out to URA for bringing in my vision of my NFT project and bringing it into Upland? Without them, y'all wouldn't see my garden gnomes there. They took that picture of my regular sea head and created
mm.
that for me. So, I just had to piggyback off what you said. Upland ready assets, they're awesome. So, shout out to them.
All right, very cool. Now, one of the projects you have been involved in is playing around with setting up a spatial space. Now, I'll see if
Yes.
this is going to load for me. Back in the days when I used to do this stuff on my shitty old laptop, this would never load, but I brought this up this morning and it seems to be okay.
Awesome.
So if you're listening on the Spotify, you're just going to have to bear with us here because this is a very visual experience over here at Spatial. But yeah, I've dropped here in the entrance to your structure. Tell me where to go. What should I go and check out?
All right, so this is so first of all, what this is our NFT gallery. So I highlight different, individuals within Evergreen, like those bins and that mat. That's Jen Skrill. If you come back down towards the entrance,
Yeah.
yeah, those right there is what's created by Jen Skrilla, and he sells them in his showroom at the top left-hand side of Evergreen Lahser. But what I would like you to do is just go to your left into the down the corner, and you will see some
Uh,
real life pictures on the right-hand side of me when I was in LA, just giving a little, a sneak peek in my life and different map assets that we created. I like your avatar, by the way. You got glasses on and everything.
yeah, I had to fix it up before it dropped me in. I had to adjust it because I'm growing my hair out and I'm letting my beard go wild. I'm on strike. Coach Funk. I told my wife and kids I'm not shaving or cutting my hair until my 50th birthday, which is a bit over 2 years away. So that's what
Oh
that's all
man.
about.
Hey,
I'm going
listen,
wild, bro.
I was doing the same thing, but in order to get on this video today and not see my avatar, I had to cut my hair, bro. I looked like George Jefferson. All up in here was gone, man. Trust me.
Nice.
Real quick, if you can, would you be able to drop this link in the description as well?
Yep. So you can check it out.
Yeah, so others can check it out. But if you could turn to the left wall real quick, to your left.
Just
Oh,
I put that.
oh,
I just put that link in the private chat within the StreamYard if that's what you wanted to
okay.
click on, and then I'll
Uh,
go back to. So where am I going?
All
Over
right.
here?
Well,
No, to my left.
one thing is some videos in there. So the one in front of you, you don't have to push it.
Yep.
But if you come in and there, they could push it. It was me talking to a gentleman in LA. But right there, that's a music video of one of my friends, and it's an actually
Mm.
awesome song. But in this hall right here, where you're about to go down, these are all of
Mm.
the open NFT C heads that's available for sale.
Yeah, that's cool.
I believe I cleaned them up, so I don't believe it's any doubles. If it is, I'll let you know. But this is just a haul of when people ask me, boom, I would like to see what C heads available and things of that nature. I'll send them in here
Yep.
just to display, what we have available in a 3D area so they can see it. In there is if you go to the left in that little room, that's the Hall of Sea Heads, the first 6 or 8 sea heads that was, on the team.
Yep.
And what I'm still under is still under construction, but what I'm going to do is like as you click on the name, it will take them to their site of choice. Also giving
On
them
that does.
access to like,
Yeah, I'm trying to
I
click on it.
haven't
Maybe.
I haven't set it
Yeah,
up
and
yet in
maybe.
here, so it's still I still haven't
Oh,
set it up. It's a
no,
lot of stuff going
no
on,
worries.
bro. But
Very
it's just
cool.
a
No,
way of what you think, by the way.
it's awesome. It's a very cool space. I like these personal touches that you've put in here and there
Hmm.
as well. I think that's really cool.
That was one of my events. If
How
you go, hmm
I was just going to say, how many hours did it take you to set something like this up, or is this just a labor of love where you're continually playing around?
So when it comes to things like this, I learn from hands-on. So it was a little bit of ODC, but
Yep.
I would say to at least get everything and to set up at least something on every wall, at least 3 hours, and
Yep.
that's because I knew how to do it, not learn it. You know what I mean? So, but it's been over 20 hours of just switching things out, just over time though. Like you said, the labor of love.
Yeah, absolutely. And probably I'd imagine there's a shout out to Elijah Judah and the kind of
Hmm.
trailblazing that he did in this space
Hmm.
as well.
Exactly. He
Yes.
inspired me. I'm like, you could do that.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, very cool. So yeah, you're looking to expand this in future to be able to have clickable links. I'd imagine, attached to marketplaces. You mentioned
Mhm.
videos and whatnot. So yeah, no, very cool.
Yeah, I'm even looking at it, bringing it in as a dev shop. It's just how would I be able to do it? What else could I have here to make
Yep.
it, wanna people that want to come in here other than just looking what's available. What other touches, whatever. If I could create a tournament, one of my goals is actually shout out to anybody that could do it for me is to create my sea heads into a layer 2 game.
Mm,
Even when it was made in Blender, they have the mechanics to be able to be in the game. So it's
mm,
always
mm.
we always looking to expand and grow a utility. How cool would it be if you own one of my sea heads and people, in order to get that skin or that character, they would have to purchase it with upwards, and you get a cut back from it from profit share.
Yeah, I wonder if there's an ability to tie in with what's the project that Desjack's working on? Block Raiders or something. I believe that's like a
Yeah,
spatial. So that'd be cool. Yeah, if there's an
yeah,
exclusive skin that you purchased or you made available through an NFT or something. Yeah, that'd be cool.
yeah. The possibilities are
Yeah.
limitless, my friend.
Yep. It's just like we said, time and money. Time and money.
Yeah.
Both, both for many of us are in very short supply, unfortunately.
Yes.
Yeah, we just had a 150 million lotto draw here that we went in on. One person won the 150, then won the whole lot. I'm like, yeah, that'd offer up a world of different opportunities, wouldn't
Yeah,
it?
it would, bro. If that was you, would you still invest your time in the Upland if you win $150 million
um,
after
well,
the
I
tax?
said to
After the
my
tax.
wife, I said to my wife pretty recently, like, if we were to win something like that, and she's talking about retirement, every time I've had a significant holiday period, so not just a week, if you have a week off, you don't really get to do much. But in between jobs or certain things, I've had like 6 weeks block off. Man, I'd never been busier in my life. The stuff that I was doing, like the hobbies that I wanted to do, plus all the home renovations and this, I went
Hmm.
back to work so I could have a holiday. Yeah. So, yeah, it opens up
Yeah,
a world of opportunities. Yep, for sure.
yes, it does. That you didn't even expect. You had it going a completely whole different way, and someone else had it going another way. I get it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I started playing around to teach myself game development, geez, 15 years ago or something like that. So I
Wow.
have a bunch of games that got to a certain point of development, and then I just, you have more kids, you more pressures, and the hobbies
Hmm.
take a very big backseat to that. So would love to go back and play around with all of that side of things as well. And then of course, there's opportunities to merge that sort of stuff in with what I'd like to do with Upland
Hmm.
and whatnot. But if I've learned anything in regards to my time in Upland, like I said, I've made plenty of mistakes. I've had big ideas and whatnot and put them out there. It goes back to the thing, it's very easy to have an idea, but, having the time to be able to see it through is very difficult. So the last probably year, I've been trying to really strip that down. Just trying to get back to like a core foundation, and then it'll be
Hmm.
baby steps after that.
And thank you for saying that because that kind of is the reason I'm doing what I'm doing because I don't want to get to a point where I'm just getting unnecessary assets that is really is not going to fit in my plan. So that's why you see I'm
Yep.
around 500. I know I'm going to add assets, but if it really doesn't, if I just don't want it, or if it's not an expansion or something, it's really no sense. Or if I just need to get my monthly up, you gotta really fit in my plan. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's been one of my core ethos for a very long time. Is I've seen other people who were involved in Upland early on, and they went into different NFT projects, and they kind of made it became their job, like they're legit. This is what pays my bills. Well, if you
Hmm.
do that, you've lost your hobby. It's a fine line. So, you know, anything that creates unnecessary stress or drama, I've got enough stress and drama in my real life situation. If
Yeah.
I sit down to do stuff, I just want it to be chilled and fun, basically. If it's not fun based, I'm not
Yeah.
going to do it. So that's a fine line between that hobby and business. Like we've seen people come
Hmm.
in and saying, who was it? Captain something or other. He was advertising in Upland. I really want to sell this property because I've got to buy groceries. I'm like, wow, you're just in a really bad position to,
Yeah.
if you're in that position, that's not a good place to be in.
Yeah. That's one of the reasons I'm so attached to Evergreen, because it was more so like a safe place in Upland. Like
Mm,
it wasn't no pressure to do this. Like let's do it. We currently had a Spark training for over 2 years. We coming up on our 100th build, and then like the next 8 builds that were people was on there when they only had zero point zero 0.01 Spark, and you could
yeah,
just
cool.
see it build over 2 years. So I see a lot of people just get burnt out when it's too regimented. If that's even a word, but it
Yeah,
has
yeah,
to be like a safe space, and that's what really kept me going out, because there's so
yep,
many changes. It kind of gets you down, but you got your. I'm pretty sure you got it. You got your core people that you could, blow some steam, and they could be like, "Look, man, you tripping. Why did you originally get in here? You overextended yourself. You got caught up in the FOMO, and we do need those type of people in our corner just to make
yep.
us okay. You right. You know, thank you."
Absolutely. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that's one of the benefits of doing the podcast shows that I do. Like I said, even with that totems and stuff, I read that,
Hmm.
and I tend to, whether it's by nurture or nature, I tend to think of it this way. And then it's always great to get other people's perspectives, and
Yeah.
they say, "Well, hang on a minute, let's think about this as well." And
Yeah.
it's that whole what do you call it, echo chamber sort of thing. You don't ever want to be,
Hmm.
stuck in an echo chamber. I guess I
Yeah.
am a little bit to some extent, but always
You
open
gotta
to
be.
get different perspectives.
You gotta be, because you're not gonna be, acceptable to some BS when they tell you. At least
Yeah,
if you can hear somebody's opinion and go back and reflect upon it, and it makes sense. That's all we can ask. You just gotta look, pun back to the seed heads. You gotta just plant that seed and let it, you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
let it, grow.
Let it mature. Yeah, you got to give it
Yeah.
time. It needs time.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, mate. Well, that's pretty much all I had to touch on. Is there anything else that you wanted to get out there? Anything you had to promote, or what are you working on next, or anything like that?
The only thing I want to say is definitely take a look at Evergreen Lahser. Why, the community, why the prices is, where they at. If you're looking for somewhere to come, in Detroit, to open up a layer two dev shop, we will welcome you and with welcome arms. We will promote you. The more it basically comes down to, the more eyes that's on Evergreen, everyone shines. Even if you, I will say all the big properties, they're pretty much gone outside of the
Mm,
bottom right hand side. If y'all could grab those properties for Sudoku or whatever his name is, more power to you. But it's hard because everybody in the community is trying to get those. But as
huh,
far as last thing I just want to say is, I do appreciate you, Ben, to allow us just to allow me and Evergreen to, just share our vision, share what's going on, because on Twitter, a lot more people are starting to recognize what Evergreen is, where we stand. And all I can say is, we've been building this thing for 2.5 years with organic growth. You know, this is not a rug pull. This is a community that really loves this community, and we're looking to grow with people who, you know, want to grow with us, however that may be. So thank you, Ben.
Awesome. No worries. And of course, there'll be links for everything that CoachFunk's got going on, both to his personal social media and everything that's going on with Evergreen Lahser, and including the spatial we just had a look at. So, yeah, if you are listening on the Spotify, make sure you get on over there at some stage and check out what he's got going on. One final kind of thing to touch on, Genesis Week is coming up in 2 weeks. Are you heading over there yourself?
CoachFunk will be in the building. Evergreen Lahser, we have a table, you know, so we would definitely
awesome.
be there. I will say, I don't know if it's okay for me to announce this. If we do have, well, I am having a raffle for one of my NFTs. It's Las Vegas NFT to become a seed head. The only thing you will have to do is come to our booth with and own at least one property to be able to go in the raffle. So if you don't buy it right then and there, when you come and meet us, I'm gonna ask you, show me proof. You can go in the blockchain, you know. But definitely, if you do, when you come up, you'll put yourself in a raffle, and at the end of the day, we will raffle off one of our seed heads just for coming over.
Awesome. So, yeah, make sure you search on out for CoachFunk in the Evergreen Lahser booth at Genesis Week if you're heading over there.
Shout out to TJ for applying for it. Shout out to TJ Miami boy.
Nice. All right, mate. Thank you very much again for being willing to have a chat. Yeah, looking forward to everything that's happening over there, and all the best for Genesis Week and all the plans you got coming up, and the push for executive status for yourself, which isn't too far away. All right, I'll leave the last word for you, mate.
Thank you for having me. Ben, you're the best. Appreciate you, bro.
If you have an Upland, NFT or Metaverse product, service or event to promote, or you're just someone engaged in Web3 who'd like to have a chat, send me, Ben68, a DM on Discord, or drop a YouTube comment to discuss and secure your spot.